Wow, 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 the game is like super loud. I can't turn it down. Like in my headset. I think coming out on stream it's like normal. Because I didn't tamper any of like the actual game volume itself. I just have my output like to headset. Output audio really loud. Anyways. Oh my god, it's me. I'm back. And my desk is really fucking dusty. A lot of dust collected, all is gone. But
it's me, your boy, Rousey. And
I got a slight sore throat. It's not that bad. It's just because I think not last night, night before, I went to sleep with the window open and it was gusty, and I did have my water cup like, cause my nightstand's right next to the window. And I think, don't mind me as I eat a cough drop, a lot of dust and dirt blew into the room. Because there was like a little layer of like dirt on the windowsill when I woke up, and some of the dirt probably got into the water, because then that's like my water cup. I drank that as soon as I woke up, and I think I just ingested like a lot of dirt by accident. So, hence sore throat yesterday and part of today. But, not COVID. I got a test, so we're chilling. I don't think it's a common cold because I feel pretty fine otherwise. It's just a sore throat. But anyways, meow, meows. That's right. Hey Gutson, how's it going? How you doing on this toxic Thursday? I know the thing is toxic Tuesday. So I'm spitting everywhere, but you know, every day is a toxic day. You know. Every day I wake up and I choose violence. Okay, yeah, sorry. I feel like I sound really gross on the stream right now because I am sucking on a cough drop, so there's a lot of like spittle coming out, but going good, going good. Glad you're going good. Want to hear something wild that happened last week? Always. Wait, let me guess. You won the lottery. You adopted a puppy. You got the Wordle of the day in the first try. Well, now that would be wild. Right, was I close on any of my guesses? No, fuck! Alright, tell me. So where did we leave off last time? Oh, right. Okay. We left Achi finding out that Hitomi has, Bound by Blood. Kano discovered the truth of who, the guy chasing Maria and Hitomi are. And Maria hit a keep out because she has a gun to her head. Presumably this will break Maria's keep out. Alright, Gutson, the suspense is killing me also. Tell me! Please. Por favor. Did you ever watch Drake and Josh? You know how they had that robot that said por favor? Yeah, that's me right now. I need that robot. Anyway, in the meantime, whose story did I just pick? Maria, okay. I hear a faint voice and realize that the man is listening to a wireless radio. I managed to secure Hitomi Osawa at Shibuya Central Hospital. The voice says, I hate myself. A gleam comes to the gunman's eyes. He pulls his cell phone from his jacket and hurriedly makes a call. I've secured Maria Osawa, he says to whoever's on the other end. Huh? So she knows her name is Maria now. Maria Osawa? Is my name Maria Osawa? You need to bring Hitomi Osawa to my location at once. Hitomi Osawa. If I'm Maria Osawa, what sort of relationship do I have to Hitomi? If you don't bring her, I'll kill Maria. Then my captor hangs up. Well, that escalated quickly. Were you serious just now? My voice wavers uncontrollably. What do you mean you'll kill me? Don't look at me like that. He steps in closer to me, his expression dangerous. That killer's edge that he'd lost during our little talk was back in full force. Ooh, okay, wait. Alright, I went to the post office last week, and when I got out of the car, a homeless woman on drugs, I presume, approached me and said, hey, and I said hello, and she said, what would happen if I did this? And got closer and tried to touch me. Her hand barely skimmed the corner of my shirt. Ugh. But I backed away before she grabbed me. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And then she said, I want to shake your hand, and I said, no, sorry, and kept backing away. That's horrifying. One of two. I probably should have waited for you to send the second part before reading it, because now I'm just going to go back to reading this Shibuya Scramble text. It's a little awkward, but it's fine. He blindfolds my eyes with some sort of towel. I can't see through it at all. And then, just then, I hear Kanan's voice inside my head. My memories are like shards of broken glass, tumbling through my mind, all out of sequence. How are you able to do that when the string is so tangled up? Once you know the trick, you can do it with your eyes closed. I'm showing Kanan how to do a cat's cradle. Oh. She reaches out for the string. Huh? She doesn't get hold of it quite right. What gives? Despite her efforts, the string gets all jumbled up. No, not like that, I say. Hook your index fingers through the front of the part of the string. No, I get that. Kanan's getting irritated. But after giving it a few more tries, she finally manages to pull it off. There we go, she says. Look at that. Seeing her innocent little smile bolsters my own spirits. That's neat. Thanks for teaching me. It's nothing special. Here, as a thanks, let me teach you some skills to help you protect yourself. How to do a judo flip. Abruptly, my memory jumps forward a bit. Kanan has been training me in some sort of self-defense. Don't overthink it, she says. People will either try to punch you, kick you, or grab you. If you can stay ready for those three things, you'll be able to take it from there. She demonstrates some defensive movements as I watch. I follow suit, doing my best to mimic her. Okay, let's do this. Oh. My uncle... Oh, okay, part 2, that's in story. My uncle, who was driving lowered the window and told her to get away from me and to leave me alone. She was in the front. She was in front of the car, and I went behind the car and into the post office. And I was nervous because I was worried she'd follow me inside and start making a scene or try to do something. I returned the package and walked out, and she was gone along with another homeless man. I think that was there. Ugh, that's creepy. I'm glad you didn't get like kidnapped. You know, that would not be very that would not be very cash money of them to kidnap you. Because then who's gonna pop into stream and say meow and make me hate myself as I say meow. But I'm glad you're okay, Gutson. It's a little scary. My experience with like homeless people is they're usually not dangerous, but every once in a while I'm like a little scared for my life. So I'm glad you're okay. So yo, my desk mat is so dirty. Sorry, not at all related. Just like everything got dusty because I was gone for the week. The whole thing was wild as unexpected, to say the least. After it happened, I was a bit shaken. I told myself I was walking the post office as she approached me again. I was gonna throw hands. Yeah, she better catch these hands, dude. I'm glad that she didn't follow you in. I mean, I guess if she had followed you in, though, like, she would have been in a lot of... She could have potentially, why do I say like that? Potentially been in a lot of trouble. I mean, not like there's, like, police or anything in a post office, but you, like, don't mess around in a post office, you know? You can get away with, like, messing around inside, like, a shop, like Forever 21 or some shit, but you can't, like, throw hands in a post office without getting in trouble. Yeah, there's lots of homeless people here, most of them on drugs, so they're usually crazy or crackheads. Yeah, but you know, I think the crazies, again, they're just personal experience, crazies and crackheads, they're so cracked up that they're usually not dangerous. Usually. But, you know, hard to say. It's really hard to say sometimes. So yeah, that's the story. Cool story, bro. No, but seriously, I'm glad you're okay. In all seriousness. Cookie. Hey, El, what's up? Cookies? Why are we talking about cookies? I want a cookie now. I'm kind of hungry. That's a lie. I'm literally not hungry. I ate dinner about an hour and a half ago. Elle, you're here just in time for your favorite game, by the way. Kanan throws a punch at me. I dodge, grab her by the wrist, and give her arm a hard twist. Incredibly, she goes whirling through the air. She lands nimbly on her feet, a little grin coming to her face. Nicely done, she says. I stare down at my own hand. Did I really just do that? Once you repeat the movements enough, your body will treat them like second nature. As she says, I do as she says, trying to repeat the movements over and over. I didn't get her, Sag. Oh, Cookie. Okay, I get it now, Cookie. Shinobu. I didn't get her 60 rolls. What? Favorite, most disliked game. More like. Favorite. Well, you know, it's not the bottom of the list, at least. What's your least favorite game that I stream? Although I don't stream a big variety of games anymore these days because I'm kind of busy and tired, so I really only, like, do, like, a Saturday game and then Shibuya Scramble. Are you gonna keep pulling for Cookie, by the way, or? After it happened today, I was still shaken up, but I'm okay now. I'm glad. I want to get into visual novel games, yeah? Is there, like, one in particular you want to play? Like, or what's the game in particular that makes you say that you want to play, visual novel games? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense as a sentence? Like, Danganronpa's a visual novel, right? I really don't want the bull chucker. It's only supposed to be 20 rolls, 40 max, but here we go. Could have gotten F'd and lost my pity. Do you have guarantee right now? I'm not sure actually. Oh, interesting. So it's just something that grabbed your attention, you know, it just happens. Spontaneity. I'm not 60 no guarantee. Ah, okay. So you just don't want to risk winning the 50-50. That's fair. But Ito's so good. He's so strong. I haven't gotten Ushitsu level 9 yet, but I'm gonna do it tomorrow because tomorrow's Elegance books. I do as she says, trying to repeat the movements over and over. At first it feels like a silly gimmick, but eventually I can feel the motions growing smoother. There you go. People like those thugs we met before won't get the drop on you again. Thugs? Now my memories zip further back into the past. I was wandering the streets trying to get back to my hotel, but I'd gotten lost. By the time I realized I'd wandered into some dodgy back streets, I was already surrounded by people giving me threatening looks. They must have been thugs looking for tourists to rob. If they had caught me, I'm not sure I would have made it out alive. But they hadn't. Kanan had seen to that. Thank you so much for what you did to me. I didn't want there to be a scene here, Kanan said bluntly as she surveys the aftermath of the thugs' attack. That's all. I'd happened to be right underneath her apartment window when I was nearly abducted. Yeah, but I'm trying to roll Kazuha. If I lost, I wouldn't have guaranteed. Oh, you're trying to get Kazuha. That's like the first time I've ever heard you say you want to roll a male character, L. But he has a really strong support for, like, you know, elemental damage dealers. Such as, you know, Hu Tao, Yoi. I pair him with Yoi. Oh, I'm gonna try and roll C2 Yoi, by the way. I did the math in my head, and I should be able to have enough by the end of her banner. I do need a little luck, but C2 Yoi. Oh, because she gets like 20% pyro damage bonus on a crit hit. Oh, and she gets natural crit rate. Oh, so good. And then I think her ulti will actually become not bad, so I might start running fucking Lava Walker on her, because I run pure pyro damage on her team. I run like Sayu, Kazuha, Toma, and Yoi. I don't run Elemental on her. That's so true. I've only ever rolled and played only girls. This is, you know, it's understandable. But I think it's time to stop handicapping my cleat and just do Mono Pyro. Yeah! Mono Pyro Supremacy! I mean, speaking of which, I'm gonna upload a run soon of my... Because I beat Spiral Abyss with just Inazuma characters, and then I beat it again with just Mondstadt characters, and then I beat it again with just Liyue characters. You're gonna see those Yoimiya Pyro numbers, and you're gonna be like, whew! Oh, speaking of that video, I tried to export it before stream, but something happened, and like Premiere Pro crashed, and I was like, are you kidding me, bruh? So I gotta re-export it again after stream. I should write a note about that so don't forget. Just run Sucrose. Who? Sucrose, more like Who-Crows. Got him. Also, hey,
Slams, how's it going? How you doing?
bit by bit, my memories of Kanan are beginning to resurface. Just a little more, and I'll have myself back. I'm sure of it. Detective Tateno, where are you? Where are you? I'm so sorry. Okay. A man's voice suddenly snaps me back into the moment. It's Kano. I've come as you've asked. The gunman grabs me by the arm and yanks me to my feet. Where's Hitomi Hosawa? He snarls. Why didn't you bring her? Detective Tateno, why are you doing this? Is that really Maria? My captor removes my blindfold. I actually think this game that you play sparked my interest. Interesting narratives and character development are favorite parts of games. Yeah! Ooh, I mean, I guess it would be not the most productive to play this game because this is narrative driven and a lot of the spoilers have already come forth, but this game, I mean, like, I'm not to say that I thought it was gonna be bad, but like I played it largely because like Right Life Iris had been recommending it to me for so long, and like I trust Life Iris a lot. Um, but surprise and like usually I'm not super into visual novels purely because like there's just too much like reading, and the problem is if you get bored of reading, there's nothing else to do in the game. Like all other games, it's like not all other games, but a lot of other games that like I tend to like are more like open worldy in the sense that like right, obviously if you get bored of doing one thing, you can go do another thing for a little bit. But this game has really actually grabbed my attention quite a lot, more than I thought it would, which has been amazing.
I'm well. I'm glad you're well. I'm doing alright, Sam.
A little bit of a sore throat, as I said. I was saying it earlier. I have a little bit of a sore throat because I think I like, right. I slept with the window open on a very gusty day, and like I drank water that probably had some dirt and dust from outside mixed into it. So my throat was pretty uncomfortable last night and this morning, but it's a lot better now, so that's good. I almost didn't stream because I was worried my throat would hurt too much. I also just noticed that I have like a really massive like I have a pretty big bruise on my arm right now because I had to get blood drawn the last weekend, because I went to the hospital and I went to the hospital to get blood drawn, and holy moly, the guy could not find my vein. The nurse could not find my vein. It's like poking around, and I'm like, please stop, sir, it hurts. And then now it's a big ugly bruise. But yeah, other than that, we're chilling. Trying to play Yela and Klee, I just given up to have Klee do reaction. It just doesn't work too well. Yeah, I've been running Yelan with Yoi in Overworld right now, and like Yoi can do like 60k autos, but I don't think it's honestly, it's not any better than just like right what I usually do, which is pure like raw pyro. So did you hear about that new Fire Emblem game that's like Age of Calamity? Um, wasn't there one a long time ago? The Hack and Slash Warriors, right? My favorite streamer is back. Oh my god, my favorite view. What? You're all my favorites.
How's it going, Life Arms? Are you excited to be here for Shibuya Scramble?
Glad it's getting better now. Yeah, me too. Again, I was worried I wouldn't be able to stream today, which would have been a bummer because right, it's my first day back since last week. But I feel better now. But I am gonna be probably misreading things a lot more than normal. I'm gonna have like a 75% reading accuracy. Normally I only have like a 80%. Nothing much, beautiful guys. Get a real niche. Oh no, but it's okay, Sam. It's fine. It doesn't hurt that much anymore. It's at the point where like it just looks kind of gross, honestly, on my arm, but it doesn't hurt as much anymore. It hurt a lot yesterday, the bruise. But what a PC answer. I'm watching the NBA draft. Oh wait, they're still playing? But don't you mean you're watching Shibuya Scramble? Yeesh. The first thing I see is a huge blimp drifting slowly by overhead. Huh. I'm sure I've seen it before. And pretty recently at that. There's a flash of a revelation inside my head, like a dam bursting. My memories come flooding back to me. Oh, she was tased. That's rough. Last night, I was at a party, a sort of mixer with the exchange students. Someone was plotting to use this party as an opportunity to abduct my sister, Hitomi. And so I told Hitomi that the party started 1 hour later than it really did. I had a plan to let myself get abducted in Hitomi's place. Of course, the idea wasn't just to let myself get kidnapped. The necklace I wore was outfitted with a tiny GPS. Whatever happened to my... Whatever happened to be taken could not be able to track my location. What we hadn't counted on, though, was my necklace getting torn off when I was attacked. I'd managed to grab hold of it, but I hit my head when I was being shoved into the car, and it slipped from my grasp. I'm not sure how far we drove after that. In my fuzzy memories, I recall gazing blearily out the car window. Ayakamiki. That was when I saw the blimp right after we parked. Yes, it went fine. There was a man talking to someone on a cell phone. Alright, I'll shut her up inside the storeroom. I'll be waiting in the room upstairs. The man dragged me out of the car and shoved me into some dark storeroom. Bonk. Then, I guess for good measure, he hit me on the head again. Wow. That's right. There's more of it coming back to me now. You've spent your life living in a country at peace in Japan. You couldn't possibly understand me. Kanan again. So it's not like she and I became fast friends right away or anything. Did you start on Spy X Family yet? No, not yet, actually. Sorry. Unlucky. It's gonna probably take a while to get around to watching it, honestly. I'm quite busy a lot these days.
Hi, Spacebook, how's it going?
I asked you, well, fuck, you actually asked me first.
I'm doing alright. How about you? You got the rousy voice. But what's poppin'? I think I might have asked you this last time, but I don't quite recall. How was everything with the auditions? Even though they were probably like a month ago now. I think the last time it was like right after you had the audition, but I don't know if know the results yet.
It was like the Fire Emblem Warriors game. They're releasing another like today or something. Oh, let me Google it real quick. I didn't know. I mean, I've never played any of the Fire Emblem games. I've never really been into them, but let me just Google it real quick. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Oh, so it's still like it's still one of the Warriors games. Like, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna play it. Because again, Fire Emblem, never really my kind of game. Although the character designs are kind of hot. What? Did you enjoy the Warriors gameplay? I've never played it. Oh, in Age of Calamity. I thought it was fun. I mean, the nice thing about Age of Calamity is, like, it's one of those games where it's, like, it's pretty, like, easy to get through, honestly. Like, you just press buttons and you feel really strong. Like, that's always, like, I think the fun thing about hack and slash games. They're not very... I mean, they can be they can be played at an extremely high level, but the games themselves intrinsically aren't very hard to play. So, it's easy to kind of get through and feel good, you know, feel strong and fast. Nothing much. Also, I got the audition results a while back and I didn't get the position I wanted. Oh, I'm sorry. I got second command position. I'm almost guaranteed to get it next year. The position I wanted next year. Okay, that's good. But I'm sorry you didn't get it this year. That's kind of bumming. Because I know, I remember how hard you worked for it last year. Holy shit, can you guys believe, like... I mean, like... I've known you for almost 2 years now. Spacebook over a year now. It's kind of wild to think, but I know even last year, like, you worked really hard for it. So I'm sorry to hear that you didn't get the one that you wanted this year. But you know, next year's the year. Third time's the charm. I think that's the design, the ultimate power fantasy. Yeah, yeah, I totally get that. I think that is that's generally just the formula of hack and slash games, but. But I mean, I liked not Fire Emblem. I liked Age of Calamity. It was fun, and I think the story was nice. Next year's my year for real. Let's fucking go. Everyone's popping off in 2023, but no one more than Spacebook, alright? Wait, next year... Yeah, okay. For a hot second, I was like, is next year 2023? Had a little bit of a brain fart for a second there. But it'll happen. Glad you have a positive attitude about it, too. I'm also gonna, I just realized we're just like literally standing in the desert with very ominous wind blowing. Where do you draw the line? What would you do to protect your life? What does justice mean to you? A forlorn look came to her face whenever Kanan asked me a new question, and I never had a good answer for any of them. My flimsy grasp of my own personal identity made it hard for us to get along, yet I kept visiting Kanan's place for the duration of my trip. I recall doing the cat's cradle there at the table one time when we didn't have anything in particular to talk about. Ominous cat's cradle. Oh. Her eyes had gone wide when she saw me deftly manipulating the string with my fingers. Who taught you how to do that? She asked. My mother. My real mother, that is. Kanan furrowed her brow. What do you mean, real? As opposed to my stepmother, I mean. My birth mother died, but mother died after getting really sick. I was only 5 years old, so I don't remember her that well. Yeah, thank you, of course, for supporting me through both times. Listen, man, we are a stream of happiness and positivity, and I'm really glad that I continued so that we're not just in the desert with ominous wind blowing. We have a nice, wholesome background music, but that's what this stream is. We gotta hype each other up, okay? You guys don't hype yourself. You need a hype man. I'm your hype man. Can you guys hear me like pounding my fists on the table? Oh, the mic is picking that up. But it's not too loud, hopefully. But if you guys need a hype man, I'm your hype man. I have pom-poms galore. I have a foam finger somewhere in my room too, I think. This music is pretty. This music is real pretty. I see, Kanan said. Her expression remained unchanged. What about your parents, Kanan? I don't have any. Oh, of course. That's so sad, but also of course she doesn't. Isn't there some significance of red thread in Japanese culture? Oh yeah! I didn't even notice that it was like a red thread. Well, I didn't make that connection, but yeah, it's like you've seen your name, right? It's like that red thread is kind of like your string of fate. Although I think it usually means representing like bringing people together specifically. It doesn't just mean like this red string. Well, like it doesn't just mean like every person has their own red string that is like representative of their life, but it's like your red string will lead you to your soulmate or whatever, you know. What about your parents, Kanan? I don't have any. They died during the war. The bluntness of her response made my hand stop, the string still stretched between them. Sensing that we were treading on some serious ground, I hurried to change the subject. Do you, have any friends? Imagine asking someone if they have friends and they're just like, no. Sage. No, well, I used to have one. Her use of past tense made me fear the worst, and I was right. He was killed too by an arms dealer named Alfred. Ooh, okay. Alfred's the fuck. Her tone was dry, matter of fact. What the heck? Sorry, just got a Discord ping, and I've just been getting so much weird spam recently. Like, is so bizarre. I think it's just because I'm a part of a lot of servers because of, like, for emotes, but I just get a lot of weird spam these days. It's kind of funny. But anyway, sorry, I always get so distracted, sorry. He was killed too by an arms dealer named Alfred. Her tone was dry, matter of fact. Taking revenge for his death is my sole purpose in life. Despite the gravity of her words, her face was an unreadable mask. She seemed almost incapable of human emotion. So, what sort of person is this Alfred? A destructionist who masquerades as a terrorist. Destructionist? That sure wasn't a term that came up a lot back in Japan. Alfred doesn't believe in God and holds on to political ideology. And holds no political ideology, my bad. The chaos and destruction is just to earn money in order to carry out more terrorist acts. So you're saying this Alfred commits terrorism because it's fun? Kanan nodded. That's why every now and then Alfred changes loyalties. It's when you think you've found ties to some Middle Eastern terrorist organization. It turns out the job was for the American CIA. Dun dun dun. What the heck? So Alfred stands for nothing then? Kanan smiles dismissively at my little childish outburst. I couldn't help but feel a bit patronized. I twiddled with my fingers, turning my cat's cradle into a bridge. Kanan's eyes fixed right back onto the string. A tiny surge of pride replaced my annoyance. She went quiet, watching closely as I worked my fingers. The tension in the room faded as the silence between us lengthened. My stepmother's the sort of person who couldn't do this sort of thing, I said at last. For some reason I had a sudden urge to talk about my personal life. I guess she cares more about herself. Oh wait, she cares about herself more than looking after her children. Like zoink, Scoob! She's not a bad person, though. She gives me weird bits of advice, like telling me to find someone to date, or that a woman's life is defined by a man. What? But it's not like I hate her or anything. Would you mind teaching me? Kanan asked softly. What? How to find a guy to date? No. She shook her head. Then she pointed to the cat's cradle strung between my fingers. Oh, you mean this? So I took her by the hand and started to teach her the cat's cradle. Hey, do you mind if I ask you something? I said after a while. What's that? That friend you mentioned earlier. What was he like? Kanan's fingers went still. It's better if you don't ask. If I tell you, you won't want to come here anymore. That's not true, I insisted. Even though I'm a terrorist, she replied curtly. I swallowed a sudden lump in my throat, unable to find the words. We fight for righteousness, but you people call us terrorists. Am I wrong? She cast a quick look at my face. But I mean, you protected me. My voice wavered as I replied. All I did was take down some thugs. I just didn't want them around. What can I say to that? I just stammered. This has nothing to do with the game right now, but I wonder what happened to my chapstick. Where did I put it? My lip's kind of dry right now. Oh, found it. Just like shuffling through my backpack. I yeeted a bunch of shit into my bag this morning, into like a bigger bag. My bigger backpack. Because I brought a lot of shit back with me this time from like home. Because when I went home to my apartment here. So, zoinks. I'm just messing with you. Huh? Kanan flashed me another slight condescending grin. I was just joking. Don't worry about it. But I didn't get the sense that everything she'd said was a joke. Even if calling herself a terrorist was an exaggeration, the world Kanan lived in was unquestionably a dangerous one. I could tell that from the cold look in her eyes. A look you'd never expect from an ordinary teenage girl. Just what sort of hardships had she endured to acquire that deadly stare? Having lived all my life in peaceful Japan, I could scarcely imagine. Did you ever talk about the Shao quest in the previous event? I don't think I did. I liked it a lot. The puzzles I think were pretty fun. The needle one was the time one was kind of hard, honestly. Like not hard, but I think it wasn't entirely clear. Like the first way, like you had to destroy the tree. Cause like there's a tree in the way. Cause like all the scenery like literally looked the same except for the one tree. And like going through the portal, the scenery looked the same too. Like I didn't think the portal had strong like indication that like of which time period you were in, but the story was good. Did you cry? I did not cry. Honestly, Genshin actually has yet to have a quest that makes me legit cry. I have the Zhongli quests did pull at my heartstrings, but I didn't cry. I did really, really like that Xiao's mask broke, though. That was I think that was honestly like top 3 like peak storytelling moments in Genshin for me. Cause like it very much felt like his story was wrapped up. Not after the last cutscene? Which one? The one of like Xiao with his friends, or the Bosuke dying? Or are those the same cutscene, or are they separate? I can't remember. It was like the cutscene, that quest was one of those things that made me go like, oh, like. But I didn't cry. It wasn't like me in Kingdom Hearts when Roxas said Axel just want to be real. He was about to die after sending the rest top. Oh. I mean, but like he was saved. He's alive. He's chilling. He's bing chilling. I think, yeah, the quests in Genshin tend to make me like just more like, oh, but they don't actually make me like. I don't know though. I wonder if I streamed them. Do you think I would cry? Because sometimes when I play the Kingdom Hearts quests, I'm just like, the Kingdom Hearts quests, I do wonder if they would make me cry as much like when I'm on my own. Because I definitely feel things a lot more, like, all emotions more stronger when I'm on stream somehow. Maybe because, you know, audience and, you know, shared experience, but... But, I see. Did you cry, Al? Didn't peg you as the type to, like, cry at quests. Nah, yeah, I figured. I didn't think you'd cry. Kanan tried and failed several times to get the cat's cradle right, but she didn't give up. She worked fastidiously, having a stroke by herself, fingers continuing to shift awkwardly about. Okay, here we go. She hooked the string around her fingers and spread her palms. But the string shape just collapsed into a jumbled mess. Found it? Okay, one more time. You can make this into a game of 2 people, you know. I plucked the string from Kanan's hands. You pass the string back and forth. Why don't we try that? It's more fun than doing it by yourself. I grabbed the string around my fingers. What do you say? Want to give it a go? Kanan looked dubious. The intricately intertwined strings were like the world in a way. What had started as a single thread was now something that just couldn't be undone just by pulling on it. I held my hands out, twirling the string around my fingers. Oh, Elle, good point. The red string. This is like Kanan and like Maria's fates being tied together. I was on the edge of the seat to see if they were about to pull a first playable dead character, though. Dead, unplayable don't hit the same. True. I wouldn't have even been upset if Xiao had died. Seems like an appropriate ending for him, but he still seems somewhat more peaceful now, so you know what, it is what it is. I mean, I think, because I feel like in Endgame, he would probably come back, right? When they're fighting fucking Celestia or whatever the fuck is gonna happen in like a decade XD. But we'll see. I held my hands out, twirling the string around my fingers. Kanan took the pattern from me and spread her palms apart. She made a perfect bridge between her hands. The shy grin that came to her face made her finally look like a normal girl. I followed suit with a childish little laugh of my own. And as if in a blaze of sunshine, the fog that's been hanging over my mind finishes receding. I remember everything. Aw, the Tama theme. My name is Mirio Osawa. My sister is Hitomi Osawa. And Kanan? She's a dear friend who I met in a far-off land. The dude just wants his rest and join his friends. I think it'd be appropriate and slash death. I really want the Hydra girl. I think she looked very pretty. I know, right? Everyone loves the Hydra Yaksha. I still subscribe to the belief as well that she's Ganyu's mom. But yeah, Hydra and Pyro Yaksha? Oh, kinda hot. Kanan helped me once and it's my turn to help her. I close my eyes as I reflect upon these precious memories, all the dear for having been lost. Now when I try to picture Kanan, I can do so clearly. It's just as I thought before, my memories are what make me who I am, and I would never choose to forget them. I feel almost as if time had stopped for me while my history was gone, and now it started moving again. I'm finally back to being me. Aww. And I have to go. I have to go back there one more time. End? What? That's not right. What? End of her story. And? What? Is the game finally coming to an end? No, the game goes until 8 PM. We only just hit 5. Well, Maria's story probably converges with some other people's stories. That's what's happening. Okay, we need to finish Minorikawa's story. Minorikawa snapped back into the present as a sheaf of papers appeared in front of his face. Here you go, Chiaki said, radiating anxiety. I think we already read some of this. Let's see how far we can skip. But why would you take such a risk? Chiaki sobbed. Right, to take the loan. Toyama's dead. Minorikawa lowered his voice. Because I owe him so much. I can't stand by and let these scumbags kill his daughter. Wow, Minorikawa's handwriting is beautiful. Minorikawa readied his pen and signed the document. Alright, Sagawa cheered. Now we're talking. A satisfied grin came to Ozu's face as he reached for the contract. Before he could pick it up, Chiaki snatched it from the desk and ate it? I'm not letting you do this. Crumbling the paper, she stuffed it into her mouth. Hey! Sagawa snapped. What the hell are you doing? He tried to force Chiaki's mouth open. Don't you dare, you bitch! But despite his frantic efforts, Chiaki managed to gulp the water paper down. Sagawa blinked. Oh, you did not just do that. Ozu looked on, dumbstruck. Guess we gotta get a new contract. Guess we gotta get a new contract from the office, boss. Bring as many as you want, Chiaki declared. I'll just keep eating them. Girl, you some kind of damn goat or something? Yeah, she is the greatest of all time for doing that. Sagawa shoved Chiaki up against the desk. Cut it out! That hurts! As she struggled to resist, Chiaki lurched toward the desk, planting one of her hands atop the TV remote control. One of her fingers happened to land on the volume up button. The sound from the television soon hit max volume. We have just learned that the explosion earlier claimed the life of one man. While police have stated that there is a likelihood of a foul play at work, they are also pursuing leads that this was a potential suicide. They hadn't released a name, but they must have been talking about Toyama. But Toyama wasn't in the van. Feeling the impact of the mentor's death all over again. I don't know. Is Toyama actually dead? He might have been killed as like a bystander, right? Collateral. But I don't think he was. But he wasn't the one in the van. So, feeling the impact of mentor's death all over again, Norikawa slumped back in his chair, his body languid and lifeless. Still, there was one thing he could do for the friend he'd lost. Draw up a new contract. I'll sign it. Mino-san! Don't argue with me. I've made up my mind. Chiaki fell silent. No... reneging? Our deal now, Ozu said with a nasty sneer. I do hope you don't get any funny ideas about running out on us. Hey, I'll get your mind out of the gutter. Yeesh. But Minonikawa didn't need the warning. He had no such plans. Sagawa slapped a new contract on the desk. Here, sign it. Minonikawa signed for a second time. Sagawa stepped in to make doubly certain that Chiaki couldn't eat it. I do hope you're able to earn enough to pay us back in short order, Mr. Minonikawa. With a satisfied grin, Ozu smacked him on the shoulder. Bonk! Yeah, honestly, me at you right now. XD. Minonikawa stood on the deck as the ship set out across the rolling waves. What the heck? In order to pay back the loan as soon as he could, he had to quit his financially unreliable career as a freelancer. For over a year now, he'd been sailing the seas, tossed by wind and waves as he went in pursuit of his new goal. That's not the right end. But as Minonikawa gazed out over the vast, wild ocean, his eyes shone with the same gleam that it had lit in his days as a reporter chasing after the truth. With pen exchanged for fishing rod, he sought a brand new destiny. This is so weird. Forge onward, Minonikawa. For the diamonds of the sea, the rare bluefin tuna. Minonikawa does radiate New Yorker energy. She has like real get shit done energy. Took on Toyama's old debt and was forced, but was that really Toyama who was killed in the explosion? Minonikawa's future actually turned out differently he hears who's actually inside that minivan. So we need someone to figure out who's in the minivan. Oh, Kano has the choice to reveal the name. I forget where the choice is. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Okay, maybe not. Whose choice is it? Is it Osawa's choice? I remember making this choice, right? Should we make the name of the person who died public? I just don't remember whose story it's in. Well, the only people who know at this point who it is is Kano, I think. So it has to be in Kano's branch. Why did you keep it secret in the first place? I think it would just be a weird thing to announce on the news, no? I think Osawa might know, because Kuze would know, or Kajiwara would know, but where is it in Kano's story? I genuinely don't remember what time block it's in. It's not in the governor's press conference, right? Is it here? I mean, because then Chiaki turns the TV up. Oh, okay, okay. I think releasing the name should be alright, yes. I think releasing the name should be alright. There was still a lot they didn't know about Tanaka. The fact that the final stop for the ransom relay was Tanaka's condo implied some sort of connection between him and the kidnappers, but they still had no idea what his role in the abduction might have been. They also... okay. They also didn't have any motive for why Tanaka would be helping the kidnappers in the first place. By sharing some of what they did know with some of the public, they might be able to garner some new leads. You release the name? Alright then. Without another word, Kuze headed back towards the conference room. Okay, so that should... Okay, so Tanaka's story doesn't change, or Kano's story. Okay, Norikawa should fix, okay. I'm gonna fast forward as far as we can. Sagawa shoved Chiaki up against the desk. Cut it out, that hurts. As she struggled to okay. Tanaka. We have just learned the identity of the victim killed in the explosion. Shibuya resident and pharmaceutical executive. Shibuya resident? Norikawa tilted his head in confusion. Toyama didn't live in Shibuya. Once again, the victim of the explosion was Shibuya resident and pharmaceutical company executive Mamoru Tanaka. The cause of the explosion remains unknown. The police are still in the process of following up several potential leads. The site of the incident remains an alarming scene, with relief workers continuing to tend the wounded. The four people in the editing office spoke in near unison. Huh? Who's Tanaka? Oh wow, what a simple thing to change the entirety of Norikawa's story. Well, everyone hit to be continued, next hour. Where's the cutscene? Here it is. Oh, now it's just down to 4. Maria's portrait didn't show. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Tama's gone. Fascinating. Okay, I was not expecting that. Okay, let's continue with Norikawa then, because that's kind of where we left off just now. Were there any violent gore scenes shown? No, not really. Even like the stuff about the UA virus, like being like, because it's like, it says that like, right, Osawa gets emails of really graphic pictures, but we don't actually get to see the graphic pictures. The TV news continued to report on how Mamoru Tanaka had been killed in the minivan explosion. What? What does this mean? Chiaki blinked in confusion. I mean, Hana told us herself that the van explosion was her father committing suicide, didn't she? The only explanation I can think of, Minoriko added, is that Hana was lying. He scratched his head as he considered the situation. But why? Chiaki said. Ozu let out a snort. Well, it seemed Mr. Toyama had her lie in order to deceive us. What an upstanding individual, using his own daughter to buy himself some time. Minoriko wanted to yell at the guy, but he managed to hold his tongue. The important thing was that Toyama was still alive. And if he was still alive, then there was a still way to save Heaven Publishing. They'd get the current issue out on time, with a big scoop waiting in the wings for the issue after that. Ouch. From there on out, it should be smooth sailing. You get it? Sailing? Because, you know, the tuna thing. Well, no matter, Ozu said. Seeing as Mr. Toyama isn't dead after all, we'll just wait here for him. He sat back down on the sofa. Hey, but Sagawa leaned threateningly toward Chiaki. Hey, he snarled. Sure you don't know where the guy's hiding out? I don't, Chiaki shot back. And even if I did, I'd never tell you. Say what now? He leaned even closer, and she just stood on her tiptoes in defiance, and their foreheads collided with a dull thud. Both reeled back, clutching their heads. Just calm down, Chiaki, Minoriko said, as he began rooting through Toyama's desk. For now, I'm going to look for clues where Toyama might have gone. You just focus on working on your article. Oh? Ozu raised an eyebrow. Getting all cooperative all of a sudden, I see. I want to change up the plan for next month's issue, and I can't do that without the editor-in-chief's approval. What Minoriko was actually looking for, however, was a back issue of the 4-star gossip. General Gossip. He was pretty sure the article on Osawa had been printed in the magazine's inaugural issue. If he could find that scandalous piece that the scientists had asked for, he'd also be able to get his big lead about the power balance of the world being at stake. And if he could get that, not only would the next month's issue be a sure thing, it was a good bet that the sales figure would go through the roof. He quickly found a file folder full of early material and quickly flipped through it. It didn't take him long to find the article. Floundering Okoshi Pharmaceutical arranges marriage of political convenience. The large headline practically jumped off the page. Minoriko quickly read over the story. The basic gist of it was this. The corporate director of Okoshi Pharmaceutical had sacrificed his daughter in order to keep a researcher named Kenji Osawa on board. Sacrifice, bro. The daughter, however, had previously been dating another man. That must be what Osawa wanted him to look into, the guy his wife had been dating before they were married. It should be easy enough to ask just whoever had written the article. Minoriko's gaze jumped to the end of the piece, looking for the writing credit. The piece had been written by Toyama himself. Hey, ain't you done yet? Sagawa yelled. Tell us where Toyama is already. Yeah, Minoriko thought. We're going to need to do something about these guys. I'm still looking into it, he said. Just hold on. He made a show of opening and closing various desk drawers. The drawers themselves were packed with a jumbled mess of electrical and gas bills, noodle house delivery menus, and the like. Look faster, Sagawa growled. For now, Minoriko decided he'd better butter this guy up. Maybe he could mollify this guy by having some noodles delivered for dinner. Butter the guy up. He sounds like someone who would have his ego stroked. For now, Minoriko decided he'd better butter this guy up. Say, you look like a pretty tough guy. You work out? Oh, okay, that's not what I was thinking, but... Sagawa grinned, thrusting his fist out in an emphatic air punch. I used to be a boxer. I could drop a guy like you in one punch. Oh, guess there aren't many folks who can give you a good fight then. Sagawa dropped into a fighting pose and threw a few quick jabs. Well, matter of fact, I'm unbeatable in a street fight. They call me the crazy tiger of Shibuya. Shibuya, huh? You familiar with SOS then? Sagawa's face twisted into a sneer. What, those guys? I mean, I've heard they're pretty tough too. Only one of them would able to give me a fight. That'd probably be, give me a fight would probably be that Achi Endo. Except as I hear it, he left the gang. Really now. Heard anything else interesting? Sounds like nowadays they're being run by some guy named Susumu. The name of Susumu rung a bell. Those two young punks who had been arguing after the van explosion had mentioned him. Seems like SOS is in a pretty rough state since Achi left, and Segawa added. Yunikawa didn't miss a beat. What do you mean, rough state? Back in the day, they were all goody two-shoes, never shake folks down nor steal or any of that stuff. Guess their founder Achi hated that sort of thing. But now that he's out, a lot of rough and tumble, hot-blooded types have been signing up with them. A smart move is not to get involved with SOS nowadays, really. Hard to find a scarier bunch around here when there's a lot of them together. And their main hangout? That's at Inferno, yeah? Yeah, over in Uda Harajuku. Man, you've been listening out on the streets. What gives? Uda Harajuku, huh? Minorikawa smiled to himself. Inferno's location had practically fallen into his lap. Suddenly, Segawa's eyes went wide. Aha! So that's where Toyama is. Wait, nah, no way a coward like him would go to a place like that. Jackie looked up from her keyboard. Look, can you please shut up? She has a big band-aid on her forehead. That's my phone. Yunikawa pulled the cella out of his pocket. It was Toyama's name on the incoming call screen. Yunikawa's heart skipped a beat. Toyama, where are you? He blurted out as soon as he picked up. Chiaki Ozunzagawa turned to look to him as one. Well, what were you thinking, faking your death like that? Even if we could fill those pages and postpone repayment, all it would do is delay the inevitable. I'd still be up to my ears in debt. So I thought if I made it look like I was dead, Yunikawa let out an exasperated sigh. Well, everyone already knows you're still alive, so your little attempt at subterfuge didn't even wind up buying you time. What? Toyama's hysterical squeak was painful to hear. Alright, listen up, Yunikawa said. If it's debt you're worried about, you'll be able to pay that back real soon. What do you mean? I've landed a huge scoop. You could do a print run of a million copies and still sell if we ran it as an article. Toyama perked right up. Wait, you really mean it? I'll give you the details, just get your butt back here. But aren't those loan sharks at the office right now? Fine, then I'll come to you. Tell me where you are. The two thugs crowded nearer, a predatory gleam in their eyes. Minorikawa had a flash of inspiration. Got it, he said quickly before Toyama could respond. Miyashita Park. I'm on my way, don't go anywhere. Ozu and Segawa grinned at one another, then bolted out the door. Hey, Minorikawa said as their footsteps receded. Those guys took the bait. I sent them to Miyashita Park. He allowed himself to cock a cocksure grin. Right then. So where are you really, Toyama? You imbecile! I am at Miyashita Park. Whack. Minorikawa fought the urge to pull his hair out. What the hell are you doing in some place like that? Why the hell did you tell them Miyashita Park? I thought it would be a clever ruse. Well, it wasn't. There's no time to be fighting, Chiaki butted in. Yeah, you're right, Minorikawa scowled. Anyway, Toyama, those guys are headed your way. We need to get you out of there in some place we can talk. I can meet you there. Right, okay. They needed someplace safe and public where they could speak freely. Someplace where the staff wouldn't be overly nosy. But where, Minorikawa thought. The familiar cafe by the station was a neutral choice. Recalling the noodle house from the menu he had seen earlier, he'd opted for that. The noodle house is probably going to be the one that Achi's family friend works at. The one that we went to a long time ago. I would bet money on it. Nothing suitable came to mind. Probably Toyama Shibusai. Let's do the cafe. Although, at the cafe, what's-her-face was listening to Doomy, so... let's just do the cafe for now. The familiar cafe by the station was a natural choice. He quickly described the location. Okay, Toyama said. Cafe Lautrec. I got it. See you there. He hung up and Minakawa quickly grabbed up his belongings. Chucky, how's that copy coming along? Well, almost done? Just a little more, I think. Alright, bring your computer and come with me. I read over what you've got so far. Minakawa waited as Chiaki got ready to go to the cafe. As the two were heading out of the office, however, someone else opened the door. You've got 14 minutes and 50 seconds left. 57 seconds left to send to press. 56. 55. Who the fuck? A slender man with a gaudy necktie entered the room and sat down at the nearest desk, staring fixedly at his pocket watch. Minakawa narrowed his eyes dubiously. Who the hell are you? Always make sure to show up 15 minutes ahead of the appointed time. That's just common decency. The man gave no indication he'd even heard Minakawa's question. Suppose I can wait here, he continued, just for another 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Mino-san, is this guy talking about our submission? Taki stared doubtfully at the newcomer. Hey you, Minakawa asked. Are you from the printer? But the man did not reply. Don't ignore me. Are you from the printer? Still the man remained silent. Minakawa was furious. Look, cut the crap, he roared. In response, the man quietly reached into his suit pocket and pulled out his business card. My name is not Hey You. He handed the card to Minakawa. It read, Cho Nippon Printing Co. Ltd. Sales Department Division 1. Koichiro Katayama. I'm Koichiro Katayama, newly assigned to Heaven Publishing. I gotta get going, but have a good rest of the stream. It was cool to watch.
Thanks, Facebook. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll have a good weekend if I don't see you through to then. But thanks for coming by. Bye bye.
A pleasure to meet you. My predecessor is in the hospital due to a car accident. Satyo Usui. Huh, okay. Oh, bruh. He should make a complete recovery in about 2 months. Well, what are you doing here, Katayama? Minakawa asked. I thought we had until 8 o'clock to complete proofreading. 8 o'clock? Surely you must be joking. Our company's proofing deadline is 5:30. Katayama stared fixedly back at Minakawa. Now that had to be a joke. I heard from the editor-in-chief that it was 8 o'clock. I take that to mean, then, that you don't have any copy for us. It's not that we don't have it, Minakawa said. It's just not finished. Just hold on until 8. Katayama raised an eyebrow. No. Publisher and printer need to work in concert. Perhaps my predecessor was the sort to delay the proofing deadline owing to your circumstances here. But now I'm in charge, and I do not make exceptions. The proofing deadline is 5:30 sharp, and I intend to keep it that way. And while we've been having this discussion, you're down to 12 minutes and 32 seconds. Katayama held out his pocket watch as if to emphasize the point. That's ridiculous, Minakawa exclaimed. Just who the hell do you think you are? You guys are going to be printing a paper that I wrote. Do you even know how lucky that makes you? So just wait, okay? Just give us... until 8. Just give us until 8 o'clock. That was the original understanding. It was unfair to change it now. 8 o'clock, And where's your guarantee that you'll finish by then? We will. Just trust me. Supposed to heedlessly trust the word of a man I've just met? Katayama mused. What a dick. We're down 10 minutes and 46 seconds, by the way. You son of a bitch. Don't get all high and mighty just because you work for the printer. High and mighty? I'd say it's the people on the publishing side that get to act high and mighty. Whatever high-minded claims you might make, without us you'd have nothing to put on the store shelves. Forgetting that blithely ignoring your proofing deadline makes for more work on our end. Just what are you getting at, I wonder? Now it's 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Minakawa ground his teeth so hard he could hear it. His usual tactics were useless here. Katayama was simply too unflappable to be browbeaten. If he backed down now, though, it was game over. 10 minutes and 7 seconds remain. I realize there's little point, but I'll wait until the designated time. That's just common decency. Katayama's eyes were once again locked on his pocket watch. It was no use. Minakawa couldn't find a way to talk this guy around. Chiaki held her hand up. May I say something? Isn't it also common decency to not break a promise once it's been made? Yo, Chucky kind of bold. She's kind of a goon, dude. She ate the paper. She's like slapping this dude upside the face. If you're referring to the 8 o'clock deadline, I was not the one who promised that. Maybe not. But I believe your predecessor's responsibilities become your responsibilities. Katayama crossed his arms and gave her a bemused look. What's your name, miss? Chiaki, she said bashfully. Chiaki Iso. The printer's expression brightened visibly. Good. That timid hesitation of yours is splendid. You have none of the arrogance so typical among publishers. Huh? Chiaki was taken rather aback. In deference to your polite demeanor, I shall wait until 7 o'clock. That is the latest I can possibly allow. Alright, Minotikawa shouted, practically in Katayama's face. We agree to those terms? No, I wasn't talking to you. But we've got our terms of our own. Katayama reeled over slightly. I'm not certain you're in any position to set terms here. Just shut up and listen. From here on out, you're coming with us. What? Why? We're gonna finish up our copy on site, then burn the data onto CD and hand it over to you there. That's why. Katayama let out a sigh of resignation. Very well. I suppose I'd simply be waiting here anyway. Minotikawa pumped his fists in victory. Alright, Chucky, go on and copy the DTP data we've got so far onto your computer. Sure thing, Mino-san. Chucky set about copying the data from the editing department's desktop. Okay, done. Let's go with the others until Minotikawa headed for the cafe where Toyama would be waiting. They reached Cafe Lochek without any incident, and Minotikawa promptly spotted the publisher. Over here, Toyama hissed, eyeing his surroundings with obvious unease. Hana sat by his side, suddenly sipping on some juice. The waitress came over as Minotikawa joined them. May I take your order, she asked. Water. Just water, sir? Fine, make it a double. Exasperated, the waitress headed back to the kitchen. Toyama looked over at Katayama. Who's this guy? I'm Koichiro Katayama from Cho Nippon Printing. Katayama presented his business card. Toyama turned to Minotikawa with a quizzical look. What's someone from the printer doing with you? I'll explain later. There's no time for that right now, Minotikawa replied. Shma, sound alerts are offline so I can't bait you into saying Fukin. Are the sound bits not online? I mean, yeah, take that. The sound bits aren't online. Take that.
Anyways, how's it going? How you doing,
We out here. We do be out here. With a big yawn. Man, I'm getting tired. I'm also chugging so much water. Oh, first I need to answer some questions. Does the name Kenji Osawa ring any bells? Osawa? Toyama closed his eyes and thought. He heads up a laboratory at Okoshi Pharmaceutical. You ran a piece on him in the first ever issue of 4-Star General Gossip. Toyama's face lit up with recognition. Oh yeah, that political marriage piece. Do you remember the details from that article? Of course. Who do you think I am? Toyama puffed himself up proudly. I used to be local news copy editor for the Central Times. I've got the details for all the stuff I've ever covered here in my head. In that case, do you know who Kenji Osawa's wife was dating before they got married? Toyama blinked his eyes vacantly. What's the matter? Minotikawa asked. This is a pretty tough pop quiz you're giving me. Cut the crap, man. You just said you have all the details inside your head. Oh, they're in there alright. They're just not coming out. Minakawa slumped. Mr. Toyama, please. Whether or not you'll be able to pay off your debts depends on your memory here. Hearing this, Hana casts a cold glare up at her father. Alright, I can remember, or I can at least try. Kama folded his arm and hummed to himself. His gaze turned inward. So... I feel like it was a really common name. Sato, Chiaki chirped. Yamada! Was it either of those? Tanaka. They're pretty common names, but Tama shook his head. Minakawa offered a guess of his own. Suzuki, Takahashi, Endo, Tanaka. Tanaka. No, not that. It was something else. Just then, the television inside the cafe switched over to the news report on the Shibuya explosion. The remains of the individuals discovered remain within the minivan itself, who's since been identified as pharmaceutical company executive Mamoru Tanaka. Mamoru Tanaka? Toyama turned around to look at the TV. An image of the victim's face appeared on the screen. What? The publisher blurted, nearly falling out of his seat. That's it! It was him! Right there! Mamoru Tanaka. That's what I said! Tanaka! Toyama pointed excitedly at the TV screen. That's Kenji Osawa's wife, that's who Kenji Osawa's wife was dating before they got married. Twitch asked me to give feedback on your channel, and one of the options was humor, so I selected that one because you're a clown. I'm not a clown, I'm the whole goddamn circus. Mamoru Tanaka. Minakawa felt himself getting goosebumps. The victim of the terrorist bombing in Shibuya was also linked to the researcher who was key to a terrorist viral scare. His reporter's hunch was now a certainty. Right now, Shibuya was at the center of a massive conspiracy. This went far beyond even a major scoop. Mr. Toyama, we need to make sure that next month's issue hits the shelves. Minakawa called up Kenji Osawa to let him know the results of the little investigation, but it's blocked again. The man didn't seem terribly surprised. Probably he'd had his suspicions all along. Osawa told him there was something he needed to do before he was ready to give details on the big scoop, but that he would call back later. In the meantime, Minakawa knew he'd have his hands full getting the current issue of Gossip wrapped up for the 7 o'clock deadline. He slapped his hands down on the table. Alright, emergency editing meeting, right here, he announced. We need to get a lead-in on the Shibuya terrorist bombing into the next issue. The article about the twins winning the beauty contest can be dropped for that. We'll use the info from Kenji Osawa as the basis of our big scoop in the issue after that. Mr. Toyama, any problems with that? No, that should be fine. But about the remaining pages for next month's issue... Minakawa opened the file on his computer. The layout built into the DTP came up on the monitor. The report on the Burning Hammer sales demo. The surveillance camera opinion piece. The interview with Oarai. Those who were finished, the copy already incorporated into the layout. Once Chiaki's street interview piece was loaded in, that one could be checked off as well. Chiaki, how's your copy coming along? I'm sorry, I just need a little bit longer. The writing seemed to be giving her a fair bit of trouble. The article on SOS was still just a placeholder in the layout. And Minakawa hadn't even gotten any material for that, putting it further behind than Chiaki's street interviews. Still, he'd at least learned where Shibuya's legendary street gang made their hangout. He'd just have to take the risk of dropping in on them unannounced to ambush them with some interview questions. And then there was the lead-in for Shibuya bombing. And that wasn't even in the layout yet. It was completely blank slate. Against all odds, they were going to need to put that article together from nothing within just an hour and change. It was an impossible amount of work for just him and Chiaki to do. Well. And how are things coming along? Katayama rose and came closer, trying to peer at the monitor. Minakawa hurried to cover the screen. Don't look! If the printer reps all the blank pages, he might decide to stop waiting. Do you mind telling me roughly what % of the total you have completed thus far? What percent? Come off it, man. We're at 100%. If you're done 100%, that implies you're full finish. Could I please have the data then? No. I'm saying our willpower's at 100%. I'm not even going to pretend I understand what you mean by that. Shaking his head, Katayama sat back down his chair. Minakawa, Toyama asked, his expression uneasy. So I know what I asked before, but why is someone from the printer here again? Katayama promptly chimed in. The long and short of it is that your proofreading deadline has been changed to 7 o'clock, he said. What? But that's impossible. Who's doing the lead-in for the Shibuya bombing? Toyama eyed Minakawa and then Chiaki both stared back non-committally. Then it really is impossible. We'll never meet that deadline. We don't have enough people. No, we do have enough. Minakawa thrust his finger. Toyama-san, you're gonna write that one and handle the layout. What? Heaven Publishing is your company. Won't you stand up in order to protect it? Toyama hung his head. Even if I headed the scene right now, I'm sure other outlets have already gotten their coverage. I wouldn't be able to find anything new to write about. Toyama deserved that. And so you're just gonna give up? A moment later, Toyama was on the floor, Minakawa glaring down at him. You've always said you want to tell the world about things the mass media can't or won't write about. So what the hell does it make if they've already gotten the sound bites thereafter? Minakawa's voice was raw with emotion. Don't you dare give up. Not that easily. Get your ass out there. Find something that only you can write about. Toyama began to object, then he glanced over at Hana. There was an imploring look in her eyes as well. Fake ass punch? I know, he fell before the punch landed. That looked real as hell. Yeah, it looked like he fell before the punch hit. I get what you're saying, Toyama grumbled, but still, you're expecting a lot. But then, despite his words, he flashed a broad grin. Yeah, Minakawa let out a quiet chuckle. And it's got you all fired up. Yeah, I'm fired up alright. Toyama's face shone with a resolve Minakawa hadn't seen in a long time. There we go. That's the Toyama I know. I mean, you know, Toyama has been being a little bitch the whole time, so... You know, I'm really sorry. Now I see the huge burden I put on you. But damn it, it's going to be alright. Getting to his feet, Toyama took his daughter by the hand and strode boldly out the cafe looking like a changed man. Minakawa watched them go, glad the dithering was over. Even if Toyama were still in his prime, he'd be cutting it close to do that article in an hour. But he would pull through somehow. When it came to the taking care of Hana, the man would rise to the occasion, and again. Father and daughter disappeared into the crowd, hand in hand. Minakawa shook himself out of his reverie. Alright, he cried. Despite the clear blue sky, an unexpected gust of wind blew across his cheek. Despite the come on guys, we gotta get going too. But he wasn't going to give up. Things might be looking grim, but he wasn't going to have to give up until the bitter end. It was time to head to the SOS hangout, Inferno. The three ran long and hard after leaving the cafe. If the proofing deadline was 7 o'clock, then they needed to finish up with SOS by 6:30 at the latest. The gang's hangout was in Uraharajuku. Running all the way there on foot was going to eat too much of their time. Kimizuka, the taxi driver, but traffic was the near standstill for some reason and there wasn't a taxi in sight. How long do you plan on running like this? Katayama called out, panting. Just take a look at the road. With this traffic, there's no point in hailing a cab. Even Minotaka was feeling the time pressure now. We're just gonna have to keep running until the road's clear. What? Katayama wailed. Stop your whining. Just keep quiet and stick with me. He'd finally gotten Toyama to find his willpower again. Next month's issue would come out on time, and no way was some printer guy going to mess it up now. I like how Minako was still all dusty from the explosion. But the traffic showed no sign of abating. Catching a cab wasn't going to be an option. Fighting an ever louder echo of despair, Minako kept up his desperate headlong rush. Still, there are limits to how far the mind can push the body before exhaustion set in. And she trips. As they were running across a pedestrian overpass, Jackie slipped and took a nasty fall. She skinned her knee hard enough to drop blood. Hey, you! Himikawa snapped at Katayama. Don't just stand there. Help the poor girl already. Katayama scurried over to Chiaki. Ooh, that was pretty bad. I'm sorry, Mr. Mino. Chiaki's voice bubbled with suppressed tears. Maybe it was cruel to make her run with her computer all the way to Ura Harajuku, but the copy for her interview still needed to be looked over. They couldn't just leave her here. Minako hesitated, undecided. Even at full run, they wouldn't make it in time. And with the traffic the way it was, there's nothing they could do. You now have, Katayama consulted his pocket watch, exactly 1 hour remaining. Damn it, Minako raged. What do we do? Relentlessly, the clock ticked on. We're gonna have to clear the traffic. It's probably someone else's story. Oh. That's the entire fucking hour? What? Wow, that's the first time we played an entire a character story like fully through. We didn't hit a bad end. We didn't hit a keep out. What the hell? That was kind of bizarre. Poor Chiaki, dude. I'm just Team Chiaki out here. She seems like a homie, despite, you know, being a little bit of, like, mousy. But... Jesus Christ. Jesus crits. A gunshot rang out from Takeno's gun, but it was a wild shot, fired reflexively as the weapon flew out of his hand. A figure had leapt from behind the water storage tank, kicking him in the arm that held the gun. Is it Kanan? Then, moving almost too fast for the eye to track, the newcomer delivered an elbow strike to Takeno's jaw. Kano didn't even have the chance to fire his gun. Before he could react, Maria's kidnapper was already laid out on the ground. Without so much as looking back, the girl bolted down the stairs. "Maria!" Kano shouted. He started to chase after her, but a bright glimmer in the corner of his eye stopped him in his tracks. The strange assailant had drawn a knife and was preparing to slit the unconscious Takeno's throat. Kano quickly brought his gun back to bear. "Stop right there." The knife stopped mere millimeters from Takeno's neck. Kano was sure that if he hadn't intervened, the detective's throat would have been slit already. The knife dealer pulled back the hood that had been concealing her face. "It's Kanan, right? Yeah. You. I know you," Kano said, shocked to see that he recognized the attacker. It was the girl who'd been knocked down by the minivan explosion. "Why stop me?" she asked, her tone ice cold. "Weren't you just about to shoot him yourself?" "I don't have a reason to shoot him anymore. Not now that you've helped Maria escape. Please, put the knife away." "Very well. Looks like he's not waking up for a while anyway." Are they speaking English or Japanese here? The girl withdrew the knife and rose to her feet. "Why did you come to Maria's rescue?" "Because she's my friend," the girl said simply. "She's been infected with a virus," Kano said. "We have to get her to help as soon as possible." He headed for the stairs that Maria had scampered down. "Not so fast. Don't move." The girl's sharp tone made Kano stop. "What for?" he demanded. "I thought you wanted to help." "I do want to help her, which is why I'm not letting the police get their hands on her." The girl's voice was quiet but hard as steel. "The police are afraid of the UA virus spreading, which is why they'll certainly place Maria under quarantine. If that happens, there won't be any way to save her." "Just who in the world are you?" "Before I answer that, let's make a deal." Kano waited, non-committal. "I have information relevant to this case, the girl continued. I want to make an exchange." Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. "In exchange for what?" "Tell me where Hitomi Osawa is." "Hitomi Osawa?" Stanley had taken Hitomi into custody. Kano could probably get in touch and ask him where she was, but... Why do you want to know where Hitomi is? Do we have a deal or not? The girl looked like she was in no mood to argue. Still, if she knew about the UA virus, she's probably telling the truth about having information. But it was a violation of public policy to leak information on any investigation to a third party. Besides, was it wise to trust this young woman without knowing who she was? Kano weighed his option for a moment before replying. Alright, I'll tell you. Kano agreed. The girl gave a tiny nod. But first, what's your name? Kanan. Kanan. Kano thought back to the grisly scene at the Foreign Syndicate's hideout. Did she do that? He was almost afraid to wonder. There was still a lingering trace of adolescence in this strange girl's face. It was hard to believe someone so young could be a covert Middle Eastern operative. And yet, Kano had seen how quickly she'd been able to render Tateno unconscious. Alright then, guess I'll go first, Kanan began. There's someone out there trying to get their hands on the antiviral drug. My objective is to eliminate this person and put a stop to their plan. Kano felt neither surprise nor horror at her use of the word eliminate. After all that had happened today, he realized his sensibilities had gone numb. This person you're after, you're talking about an arms dealer named Alfred, aren't you? Kanan nodded. The UA virus has been weaponized and tested several times on the battlefield to great effect, she said. The antiviral will render this weapon wholly ineffective. Countries the world over are dying to get their hands on it. Then why did Alfred orchestrate this kidnapping if the goal is to get the antiviral, not to steal it from the laboratory? There was a lot about this kidnapping case that still didn't add up. Kano was sure Alfred's plan was hidden in those baffling details. Lab security at Okoshi Pharmaceutical is practically perfect. The place is under surveillance 24 hours a day, and getting to where the antiviral is stored requires bypassing 3 sophisticated electronic locks. Getting the antiviral out is impossible. Unexpectedly, a sly grin appeared on Kanan's face. If you were Alfred, how would you steal it? She asked. Huh? Kano was taken aback by the sudden question. He thought good and hard about how to answer. There must be some way to get those locks open, right? Sawa heads up the lab. Wouldn't he be able to get in and out? If you can't sneak something out, maybe you can sneak something in. You wouldn't need to steal it, just wait until the drug hits pharmacy shelves, right? I don't know, this seems like the most weird, obscure answer, so might as well pick it. If you can't sneak something out, maybe you can sneak something in. Kano hadn't had any particular flash of insight. He just figured the opposite of the obvious might be the answer. To his surprise, Kana gave a nod. Very astute. Wait, really? 6 days ago, Alfred injected Hitomi Osawa with the UA virus. What? The tale had taken a sudden and very unexpected turn. So it wasn't only Maria who'd been infected, but Hitomi as well? And 6 days ago at that... Wait, hold on. Hitomi Osawa was perfectly healthy earlier today, so that must mean... Exactly. Kenji Osawa administered the antiviral to her. An unsettling thought occurred to Kano. It was supposedly impossible for Osawa to access the antiviral by himself, but he'd been able to give it to his daughter all the same. Then that had to mean... He needed Mamoru Tanaka's help for it, of course, Kanan said, which is why Alfred bribed Tanaka ahead of time. So that's what happened. Tanaka had been paid off to inject Hitomi with the virus. Getting Osawa to take action at that point wouldn't have been difficult. But why go to such lengths to get the antiviral administered to Hitomi? Why would Alfred have Hitomi infected with the virus only to have her father cure it? It's been roughly a week since she was given the antiviral. The DDS is still in her body. The what? Essentially, taking blood from Hitomi Osawa would now allow someone to extract minuscule amounts of the antiviral. Kano was stunned. All these seemingly unrelated threads were beginning to form a pattern. So since getting the antiviral itself out of the lab wasn't an option, Alfred must have thought of using a human vessel, he murmured. Which means the thing that Alfred's really after is... Kanan nodded. Yes, Hitomi's blood, she finished. Alfred specifically requested that Hitomi make the ransom handoff, Kanan said. Additionally, the crime syndicate was hired to carry out a relay with the attaché case containing the ransom money. This would disrupt the investigation and distract the police, allowing kidnappers to target Hitomi in secret. Wait, no, hold on. There was something about this story that still made no sense to Kano. Tell me this, he said to Kanan. Why not just kidnap Hitomi in the first place? Why not use Tanaka for the vessel instead of Hitomi? Is there really no other way to get out the antiviral? This is a curious question, honestly. Why not use Tanaka for the vessel instead of Hitomi? Tanaka could enter the lab along with Osawa, then secretly inject himself with the antiviral. It didn't seem like it would be terribly difficult. A good question. If the antiviral were the only goal, that would be the most expedient means of doing it. So then why use Hitomi Osawa? Kano asked. Kanan thought for a moment before answering. Tanaka may have objected to the idea of giving himself the drug. I hear that it can have some severe side effects, but she seemed unconvinced by her own words. Do you know why they targeted Hitomi? Kano demanded. I don't, but I'm sure there must be some reason. Alfred hadn't gone with using Tanaka, which would have been the sure thing. Instead, they'd gone with Hitomi. Hitomi was injected with the virus, brought it into the lab, and used to sneak the antiviral out. Now the plan was to extract the antiviral from Hitomi's blood. Something about this idea still struck Kano as incredibly odd. So wait, why not just abduct Hitomi from the very beginning? Why kidnap Maria instead? Had the kidnappers mistaken Maria for Hitomi? Surely they couldn't have been so foolish to abduct the wrong target. The girls hadn't gotten themselves mixed up, had they? So maybe we know the answer to this one. Had the kidnappers mistaken Maria for Hitomi? The two were twins after all, so it wasn't inconceivable, but... It's my fault that Maria was kidnapped. Kanan looked away. I contacted her before this all started. I told her about the kidnapping plan. And I gave her a GPS beacon to give to her sister so that I could track Hitomi's location after she was abducted. But my plan backfired. Maria switched places with Hitomi and let herself get taken by Alfred. What the hell? Why hadn't Maria taken this to the police? Or if she was so determined to protect her sister, why not just get her to leave town or something like that? There must have been some sort of accident, though, Kanan continued. The GPS was never turned on after the kidnapping, and I wasn't able to track Maria down. But there was something even Alfred hadn't counted on. Kanan cast a glance over at the panel. This person right here, she said. So Tateno had disrupted Alfred's plan by going after Hitomi himself. Considering where it's all led, Kanan continued, Alfred must be panicking about now. We can't let our guard down. Even now, I'm sure the mastermind is thinking of some way to fit what this man has done into his master plan. So it's a perfectly imperfect plan. Is that what you're saying? Precisely. Kanan flashed Kano an approving grin. I've heard from Stanley. I heard from Stanley, Kano said, the man who drove you to the hospital earlier. The man who drove you to the hospital earlier. That case officer, huh? Case officer. That was it. Stanley was CIA. Now that I kind of thought about it, it all made sense. Since Alfred is an arms dealer with worldwide connection, I don't know what nation might have been trying to obtain the antiviral. This was an anime? I think this would make a good anime, you know. Since Alfred is an arms dealer with the worldwide connections, I don't know what nation might be trying to obtain the antiviral. Obviously, any country that has the viral weapon would want to prevent their enemies from obtaining it. It's no huge surprise that people are butting in, trying to put a stop to Alfred's plan. A tiny beeping sound caught Kano's attention. Kanan pulled a PDA from her breast pocket. Interesting. The GPS I gave to Maria has just been powered on. Now I can find her location. Where is she? She's on the move, but why is the GPS suddenly active now? Kanan frowned. At any rate, I've told you what I know. Now tell me where Hitomi is. Alright. Kano got out his phone and called Stanley. Naming my kid Alfred. The American was quick to pick up. The American was quick to pick up. What's going on? Where's Hitomi? We're on our way to Endo Electronics in Dogonzaka. Endo Electronics? Why are you going there? Kano was familiar with the dilapidated old storefront. He had passed by the place countless times. Too long of a story. There's a lot that's happened, Stanley replied. How are things on your end? About as bad as they could be, but I'm getting closer to the truth. Please make sure you keep Hitomi safe. Alfred is after her blood. Her blood? Kano told Stanley what he'd heard from Kanan. I see, so that's what's going on. Once we're finished with things in Dogonzaka, I'll bring Hitomi right back. Because I just want to look up what UA Virus did and found an anime that was the exact same names, so I don't know. Life Virus, do you know if there's like an anime based off of this game? I feel like it's feasible, you know? Kanan asked as soon as Kano had hung up. She's on her way to an electronics store in Dogonzaka. I see. Kanan checked Maria's location on her PDA. Ooh. First I need to get Maria, she said. I'll get to Hitomi after that. I'm going with you. Be my guest. With that, Kanan was off and running. Kano took one last glance at the unconscious Tateno, then hurried after Kanan as fast as he could. They ran from South Hill and Nanpeidai towards Shibuya Station. As they darted and weaved madly through the narrow streets, Kanan took an occasional glimpse at her PDA. They ran for 1 season, 9 episodes. Looks very unlike this one or something like that. The anime Kanan is tan with white blonde hair, though. I think there is a Kanan anime. I'm so confused with what she's talking about right now. It felt to Kano like they must be taking the shortest possible route to Maria's location. He stayed quiet, keeping pace as Kanan led the way. Before he knew it, they were heading up Dogonzaka. And not too long, they'd be at Endo Electronics. Hey, Kano called out to Kanan. What? She shouted back without turning. Are you sure this is the right area? Are you doubting the GPS? No, it's not that. Actually, can I see that GPS you did? It's not that. Kano scanned the area. It's just that Endo Electronics is right up ahead. What? Kanan stopped abruptly. What are you suggesting? Twins are headed for the same location. That's my guess. Still, what did that actually mean? Kano hadn't figured that out yet. There's a bonus chapter at the end of the game that has anime Kanan to like plug the anime. Oh, interesting. They took off running again, and before long, Endo Electronics came into view. Kanan stopped in front of the shop door. Right here, she said, glancing again at her GPS. I knew it, Kano thought. Endo Electronics, the same place Hitomi was headed. Guess we're all winding up together, Kanan said. Or else we've been brought together. She peered keenly at the building and its surroundings. Kano swallowed hard. We? You think we've been roped into this too? Quite possibly. Kanan flashed a winning smile, then started to head into the shop. Hold on, I need to report into HQ. Kano hurriedly called Kuze on his cell. Kano, what's going on? I've located Muriosawa. Huh? Was that? Kuse's words came out as a surprised and childish yelp. Come on. Kanan's mouth turned to a steady glare. Time is critical. He nodded silently back at her. Kano, what's the location? Kuse asked. Where are you? I can't say right now, sir. Please just leave this to me. You know, just hold on. Wakano ignored the director's squawking and hung up. Kana had already entered the shop. She seemed wholly unconcerned by the idea that she might be playing right into Alfred's hands. Despite her youth, she clearly thought herself quite capable. Warily, he followed after her. After navigating a veritable cavern of junk, they came to a door that led to the living area beyond. Kanan quietly opened the door and immediately stepped inside. The home was divided into a dwelling area and a workroom. A man's voice could be overheard from the workroom raised in anger. Don't you want to save Suzune? Kanan crept closer. Peering through the doorway, they saw a tense confrontation in progress. Maria and Stanley were standing there, looking down at a middle-aged man who had restrained Hitomi with a stun gun pressed to her throat. Dad, of course I want to help Suzune. A young man stepped into view, speaking to the older fellow. But do you think this is what she'd want you to do? Kano watched intently, tensing for action. There was so much at risk here. He was about to barge into the workroom when Kanan grabbed him by the shoulder. Let's wait and see how this goes first, she whispered. He realized this was good advice. If they provoke the older man, things could very well take a sharp turn for the worse. They just have to hope the young man could talk him down. Achi. Keep out. Okay. Oh, things are getting really spicy, but I kind of want to end stream there because just now at the end of stream I got some emails that I would like to take care of. As well as I'm a little bit running a little tired, but oh man, this is getting so spicy though. This is wild. Like, how did Maria end up here? She's at the end. Someone must have grabbed her and brought her, but so much stuff happening this week. Much action, very well. I know, right? But anyways, yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there because I got some stuff I need to take care of right now. But I'm glad I was able to stream. I'm glad my throat didn't just like conk out entirely. That was nice. But yeah, it was good to be back. Next stream is gonna be Saturday. We'll be back with Birth by Sleep. Normal time.
Well, thanks again, everyone, for coming by. It was nice to be back. Have a good rest of your days. And I'll see you all on, I almost said Thursday, but today's Thursday. Fuck! I'll see you all on Saturday. Bye!